This video is about how to soundproof a window. It's probably not the best way to do it, but it's how I do it, which is to make an MDF box, reinforce it with some 3x2 timber, just so it keeps its shape, put some acoustic insulation in it, squeeze that down with some 12mm, so 1/2 inch cement board, leave a 10mm cavity inside, seal it with acoustic sealant so it's all airtight, seal the box shut, put it in the window and lock it in place. So this video demonstrates how you do the different stages of making that, and in the next video or in a later video I'll show the difference between just using acoustic foam, which a lot of people assume is going to be soundproofing. It really isn't, it's just acoustic treatment, it's to do with echo. The difference between that and proper soundproofing. Proper soundproofing being density. You want a lot of stuff between you and what you're trying to keep out, so any exterior noise, and you want to keep obviously your noise in your studio from going out, so you want density. So have a look at the video, let me know in the comments. Yeah. My window boxes are 100mm deep, so I've cut 100mm strips of MDF and stuck them to each reveal of the window, and then the size left is the size of the box I'm going to make. With the frame of that box, put some diagonals on it so it doesn't go out of square, and then reinforce it with a 3x2 that you can see there, throw the back in, screw that all in place. Notice I've still got the diagonals on there just to keep it square. Worth noting at every step of the way, make sure it stays square, because you don't want to find at the end that it doesn't fit the opening. So on the inside, I'd also seal the inside with acoustic sealant before you throw the 70mm insulation in, like I'm doing here. So this is 70mm acoustic insulation. Cut it to fit, don't leave any gaps, make sure it fits tightly. And on top of this, I'll throw a sheet of 12mm, so 1/2 inch cement board, squash that down, hold it down with screws so it leaves a 10mm cavity and seal it. You'll see that in a minute. So just wedging that in there so you can see the reinforcing timber. So make sure this sheet fits nice and snug. It'll be quite hard to push the insulation down because the acoustic stuff doesn't squash too easily. So be prepared to put a bit of weight on it. So put your body weight on it, push it down, set it down about, well, as far down as you can push it. I could only push it sort of 10-15mm down, and I held it in place with some screws. And once it's sort of 15mm or 10-15mm down the whole way around, throw some acoustic sealant around the edge and make sure it's completely sealed airtight. So this is just a close-up of the 10mm gap or 15mm gap, which I then seal with acoustic sealant. It's worth buying the proper stuff, you know, for a tiny extra expense. You may as well do it properly. So seal every layer just so it's airtight, and then once that's done, you can fill in the boxes. I've done this window because it's so big. This window is actually 2 boxes because of the weight of these things. I've got 2 windows in my studio. The smaller window is 1 box and it weighs a ton. So this bigger window I'm doing in 2 hits. So just throwing in the back of the boxes, sealing it shut. Obviously it's a perfect fit. Gently ease it together. Make sure you screw everything together. Once you've checked it's all square, it's probably a good idea to seal it all and throw a bit of glue in there just so it sets absolutely rock solid and doesn't move, doesn't go out of square no matter what happens. And like I've always said, every step of the way, test they fit. So with these boxes, this window, because of the weight of these, there's going to be 2 in there. So just showing you how they fit at this early stage. Just launching the other window in. Oh no. Oh, it's fine. They fit in nicely. The reason there's a gap in the middle is not because I'm a complete idiot, because one strip of MDF fits in the middle, and I'll cut that in half, stick one to one side, one to the other side, and they lock together. So you'll see that at the end. So take all those 100mm deep strips, walk straight into the camera, take all those strips off, so the left hand side, the right hand side of the reveal, and the one in the middle on this one, cut them right down the middle. And these will act as, so the window box will tuck behind one of these reveal strips, and then push up against the other side. So on the left hand side it will tuck behind, but on the right hand side it will push up to one, and then you probably don't have to do that. You could probably not bother at all and just have 4 sliding bolts, but I just find it easier not to have it really sealing tight. So here it is. So on the back edge, so this will be the left hand side of the box. The back edge, one of these now 50mm wide strips of MDF. Roll over and do it on the other side. Make sure you pick up the right strips. And in the next clip you'll get to see how they lock together. So I've got 2 window boxes like I've mentioned. It's just the top view, so I'll trim that down. And the 2 lock together like that. So one tucks behind the other, so you use less sliding bolts. I just find it easier to do it that way, but it's however you prefer it. You will need some way of lifting it, so I use quite large heavy duty chest handles. Use whatever you want. I mean, these are fairly cheap to pick up. I think it's about a £5 for 2. Just whack it in, check that it fits. Dent the guitar amp, nice. So the only thing I do to finish off those window boxes is a load of spray adhesive on the back of them and stick some corrugated acoustic foam, the stuff you probably can see in the corner there. So put that on the whole back of the window boxes. That way when you tuck it in, it really seals tightly against the window when you put the sliding bolts in. It doubles up as a security thing as well, so you're going to really have to go some to break through those. And like I said earlier, in the next video I'll show you the difference between just putting a sheet of 70mm acoustic foam in a window and the decimal difference between that and the window boxes, so you get to see just how soundproof it is. But it is really quiet in here, and it's secure. The only thing to note when you're soundproofing a room, make sure you've got some air ventilation, because it can get a bit stuffy. So